And we have ourselves a qualifying session, and I am amped. I'm looking forward to it like never before season to date. This is Maximilian Verstappen's world, and we are all just living in it. I'm reminded of a brilliant Top Gear segment where Jeremy Clarkson concluded on Ayrton Senna that he's watched him a gazillion times, practically every race and every qualifying session. Every other great driver was good on occasion, great even more rarely. Maximilian Verstappen at this stage, however, is matching how Clarkson characterises Ayrton Senna, is he not? Clarkson concluded that the reason why Senna was different to each and every single one of all of the other F1 drivers who have ever lived is because Senna was great every single time he buckled into a car. What are we doing here, chat? What is Maximilian Verstappen of late over the past few races this season? If not that, I think this is the gift and the curse. We know that he doesn't like to not have dominant machinery. He said as much each and every single opportunity that he has had. He wants a car that's dominant because he realises his own mortality, that he can't be perfect each and every single time, nor can the team in terms of their operational efficiency and their infrastructure. Execution is tough. It takes it's tiring to do even. It will take something out of you. However, the gift of this circumstance that Maximilian Verstappen finds himself in season to date is that he needs to be the bloody difference, eh? He needs to be the difference. And so the naysayers, the Maximilian Verstappen detractors, need to now take two seats, do they not? Because when presented with adversity, he just nails it. He gets it done. Take as an example today, eh? The sprint shootout or whatever, the sprint race or whatever they're calling it, yet again gets it done. Lando Norris catches him by surprise, does he not, into turn 5, but then turn 4 even, and then turn 5 shortly thereafter. Maximilian Verstappen takes his revenge. What are we doing, Lazy? Tony, oh, the humanity. He's not bad, is he, this Max fella? As we are 25 minutes away from a proper qualifying session. I just messaged my old friend, one of my best friends, who I started this podcast with many moons ago, who's since styled out of F1. I said to him, listen, mate, you need to start watching qualifying sessions this season. If you're invested in greatness, Maximilian Verstappen is blockbuster. You've got to watch it each and every single time now, eh? Non-F1 fans are starting to dial back in courtesy of the exploits of this fella. And I know the irony is not lost on me that he doesn't like this. He'd rather have himself a dominant car and be 20 seconds down the road. That's just who he is, his fundamental, his fibre, his DNA, his fundamental constitution. But he now needs to be the difference maker, and that's going to draw eyes back into the sport. Oh, the humanity. Jay, you got it. Let's go. Let us go. Jay's got the multi-viewer on deck ready to go. The go-tiest F1 metric app. And again, it's free. Support them because they support us. The best. I don't know how Sky F1 haven't procured their services yet, because there's nothing else in the game. Get yourself a cheeky F1 TV membership, the access one, the cheapest one, and tack it into multi-viewer, dial it into there, and you get all of the metrics and more. You can set up your own. If you want speed trap, maximal velocity, you can get that. If you want tyres, tyre history, you can get that. If you want intervals, delta, laptop, whatever you want, get it on multi-viewer. When I bring up my metrics on the right-hand side of your screen, it will be courtesy of multi-views. So I've got to give them, got to hold them up each and every single time. Lando ruined himself, says Jay. Had to push Max more wide, so he would have lost a few meters on the next turn. It's techie, isn't it, this? Max said he was very, very lucky in that sprint race. That Oscar Piastri was the difference. Oscar overtaking Lando helped him out because he realised Lando was really, really quick. Zach Brown's got to get around this, hasn't he? I feel like the lack of team orders potentially has detrimented one Lando Norris in his search for his maiden championship now, because that's what we're talking about, really, are we not? That's the stakes. 69 points is the difference now between Lando Norris and Maximilian Verstappen. That's about 10 races that Lando Norris would have to beat Max Verstappen consecutively, on the assumption that Max will finish second each and every single one of those. That's a tall order, right? What you don't need to do at this stage then, Zach Brown, is have your prime driver, Lando Norris, giving away points to the guy on the other side of the garage. Surely. Hamilton 0.08. Let's go. Ron Real. Every driver wants a dominant car, but there are only a few that take the max and or more out of it. It's a good shout. And I mean, there's a over driving, getting the best out of the car is a physical dilemma, isn't it? You can't actually. It's an impossible thing to overdrive the car. The car will have a max lap time that it's capable of, right? But the gift of these drivers is getting as close to that perfect lap in the context of the machinery that they have, right? Maximising for it. And what is Max doing if not that at the moment? Gonna have to talk about this bloody Jos Verstappen stuff, aren't we? Oh, the humanity. Because BBC talked about it. Andrew Benson. We are T-minus 22 minutes away from a cheeky qualifying session. It's going to be chaos. 3 sessions of absolute chaos. 60 something seconds this lap time is, right. It's too congested. It's very suffocating almost, this Austrian GP circuit. Like the cars are too big. There are too many of them. And so it's going to be techie. The teams are going to have to be on their marbles. You need a God tier 1 like a Bernie Collins, right? What's she talking about? Bernie Collins talking about the queue. There's going to be this queue etiquette in the pit lane, isn't there? I know. They're all going to be queued up, waiting for their space. Leclerc pulls over his problem. It's going to get techie for them, isn't it? Oh, the humanity. Max is not on Red Bull team. He is on his own team, Team Max. You start to forget he's in a Red Bull. And this is what Toto Wolff was talking about, wasn't he? When he was referring to Max and Red Bull last race in Spain, he said, Red Bull did not win that race. Max Verstappen was, for he was the difference maker. And I concur. I feel like he might have been a difference maker for longer than we're giving him credit. It is gonna get techie. Chat, I cannot wait. If you can't tell, I'm a little bit amped up. Slipped the like button at $20 for good measure. You're a legend, lazy. Honestly, do me a favor and smash the like, please, because apparently it all helps. What we don't want is a poorer like to concurrent viewer ratio than Mercedes' drag to downforce drag to that. Botched it. Look at me. Can't tell that I'm excited, right? Fumbling my words. Joe Biden settings, bless him. I shouldn't take the mick. I feel like he's actually got stuff that he's dealing with, right? More than just old age. But yeah, we want to get that concurrent viewers to like ratio. Cannot be worse than Mercedes drag to downforce ratio. Surely not. What are we doing? Matt's reacted on it. Sent you an email about it. I think I know, but overdrive is too hard. Yeah, you can't overdrive the car. You gotta extract. There's a gift, right? Extracting the most out of it. Anthony V, you're a legend. Again, leaving some love. Go Lando. Anthony V, you're a legend. Far too kind, sir. So Max blames indirectly Horner again. Did he, Ron Will? It's beefy, isn't it? Max doesn't want any. They were just talking about it on Sky F1. Do you know who Max Verstappen is? He just wants to get in the car, the fastest car possible, and race and destroy the field. He hasn't got time for all of this rigmarole and nonsense and acrimony between his team principal and his father. What? And Christian Horner, the Joker, Bond villain that he is going to get before the world's press and media and like turn the screw again. What do you mean, Christian Horner? What are you talking about, chap? If Toto wants to sign a Verstappen, then Jos is available. Hey, how is your driver Max? Of course he's gonna watch that. How is he gonna react to it though? And there was more, wasn't there? The legends will be driving tomorrow, excluding Jos Verstappen, as if to say that Jos isn't a legend. Well, state the obvious, mate. He was never on his teammate Michael Schumacher's level. But give that dude some respect, or at the very least, don't put disrespect on his name. Surely. Kayori, you're a legend. I just couldn't wake up at 5:30 for the sprint live, but it was spicy, mate. It's worth watching back that stream. I was watching it back myself and it got techie. I lost my mind. I didn't realise I was shouting so loud, but apparently I was enthused by it. No, riveted. Incredible overtaking in it. That's what we want to see. Shout out to Lando Norris as well before I divert and segue. I don't want to bury the lead on Jos and Christian. But what have we been after from Lando, if not this? Challenge Max Verstappen. Get your elbows out, chap. Overtake him and defend him there running. Try desperately to make it stick, as difficult as that may be. But you're an expert around here, Lando. This is your track, right? You are God tier around here. So then let's take advantage of it. Get in Max's face. Because listen, the greatness of Max Verstappen, you will see it more frequently. It will manifest more often because it has to, right? Guy's back against the wall in not the quickest machine, and then he has to do these incredible sprint shootout sessions where he nails sector 3, lap of the god settings. You'll see it more often when he's challenged, and I don't hate that. This is why you'll hear me cheering on everyone competing against me. This isn't me wanting Max to lose. I just want to see Max at his brilliant best. Final for Max. Neo in the Matrix Max at the end with Agent Smith when he turns to the side. You know what I mean? Multi-view is a different level, Christian, isn't it? Like, setup, like, tinker with it. Play with the setup because they're alert. You can get anything you want. I'm becoming grouchy again. Lewis, get in there. Come on, Tony. Let's go. Let's go. Great, Goku. You're a legend. Pookie, what's going on? Good morning, Gamir. I hope you're all right, mate. Howdy says lazy. More of you in the chat than normal. Daniel Maris, let's go, sir. How are you, sir? I hope you're good, mate. And thank you again for the other day gifting so many memberships. You can always become a member. That will mean that you get preferential treatment in the chat, of course, and you get some sexy emojis if you want to use those. But again, listen, every little bit of support helps. I just want to be better, right? I want to be better. Soon I will be doing this full time. Soon. Pronto. Payback period settings. Oh dear. It gets T-techy. What are we saying? Jos and Lawrence living their dreams through their children. Oh, the humanity, Brett. Yeah, it's too early in the stream to talk about that, is it not? Pushy parent settings. Sometimes, in the case of a Max Verstappen, I think you can do everything wrong as far as a parent and it still work out right. I think you can argue that Max's talent is sufficient to where he could overcome the not insubstantial deficits as far as Mr. Jos Verstappen being a pushy parenting, kicking him out the car, your mum can come and get you, etc., etc. That's not helpful. But again, Max has overcome. He was brilliant despite that stuff, not necessarily because of it. Again, probably not as black and white as that. There are shades of grey in this, right? But I digress. As Ted Kravitz goes through the upgrades, brand new McLaren, brand new on that McLaren even, brand new front wing and brand new front. Oh, that looks sexy, right? Strakes. Are you guys seeing this? How sexy does that curled edge look? Those tweaks on the inside of that front wing. Oh, the humanity. Interacting with new front suspension. McLaren aren't messing about, are they? Coming with those upgrades. Let's go. Incremental gains and all that. Do you know what I mean? Incremental gains. I don't hate that. Do you think Red Bull is only great non-road car manufacturer team existing now because Williams is kind of history? I don't even think they'd say that they're a road car manufacturer, are they? Part-time. Obviously, Adrian is working on this hypercar project. But what other cars do they make? They had that the relationship, the corporate relationship with Infiniti a while back. But are Red Bull a road car manufacturer, really? I would argue not. Oof. Ferrari have made adjustments. Mate, but Ferrari absolutely have to make adjustments. What are we doing here? Come on, Ferrari. What's going on? Lewis will be there next year. You need to sort out your act. Christian's in love with the old multi-viewer. Let's go. Anna Kinski, you are a legend. Thank you so much, Anna Kinski. Blessing people out here. Gifting people memberships. You're a legend. Quick Scott, my guy, Tung Tung. Mark Saruda, Pookie, KH Striker. What a name. You're a legend. Honestly. Anna Kinski, 94. You are an absolute legend. Gone tier name as well, by the way. I kind of like Horner's villain vibes as team boss. You need to show some attitude. Well, that's what we've been asking for from Toto Wolff for the longest time. And now all of a sudden that Lewis is leaving, they're like one of the most popular drivers on the grid as at June 2024. Now, all of a sudden, Toto's become full of banter. Like, what's going on? All of a sudden, how and why now? Like, what's changed, Toto? What, are you unshackled now? Now you really want to win because Lewis is leaving? Like, what? I don't even understand it. Genuinely, I don't even know. Who knows how Max was a kid? They can also be a pain in the AWS. Nobody knows what his father had to deal with, so judgment is missed. But I don't hate you, Ron. Again, of rational mind each and every single time, mate. What you've said there, I cannot disagree with. Quali rankings can easily be the same as sprint quali. Very, very true. You wouldn't be surprised. But Lando, I will say this, Lando and Max were right on the ragged edge, right? I'm not sure whether Lando, the most perfect lap in his mind, I'm not sure Lando can go too much quicker. I find it intriguing, right, that all these guys actually drink Red Bull. I thought Red Bull was meant to be really damaging for your health. You want me to give you a joke? That Max Verstappen drinks it makes me want to drink it as well. What sort of backward logic is that, Cameron? But I mean, if Max can drink it out the can and be as fast as he is, then like, do you know what I mean? Like, what's like, why shouldn't I? Right, let me do something here. I'm seeing that you guys are getting buffering and I don't want that. Alexa, TV off. Right, let me focus this stream so that I haven't got any bandwidth issues. Come on, Cameron, sort out your life. Right, cancel that. Cancel that. As Pinks is talking about Aston Martin. Oh dear. Northbound, what's going on? Schlock, Ricciardo's seat is very hot. Oh, no, we might not have that for too long. It gives you wings, Christian says. That's why it's so fast. The ingredients aren't good though, are they? Jay says, F1 truly is a meritocracy. Then doing well, if F1 is truly a meritocracy, then doing well is by far not good enough. He's after the seat of Checo at Red Bull. That requires perfection. And he's not been that, has he? If we're talking about Danric, bless him. Jacques Villeneuve, as abrupt as he was in his delivery, he was absolutely on the money. 100%. What he said is true. Like, what are we doing here? Let me guys know. Are you the reason for Teo to pack from Indy team is less sponsorship he brings? Yeah, it's always money, French. If you deep it, if you peel back at the causality layers, inevitably you always end up just following the money, right? If Teo Pourchaire brought 30 million a year to that team, like Checo Perez does, or like a Zhou Guanyu has the potential to, then of course he'd still be in there. They would have kept him. Russell B, same. You freaked out my oh, sorry, Russell B. So I'm so sorry. I don't want to do that again. It's weird that we all somehow linked via these Amazon voice recognition bits in our house. Is that not crazy? I don't want to do the conspiracy theory and put on my tinfoil hattery, but bloody Nora, that I can say the A word and then your A words or react. I don't like it. I heard an advert on the radio the other day where they said, A word, please play. Da, 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 da. I was like, I don't like this. I don't fancy that at all much. It's techie. Christian, that's hilarious. A is a tricky woman. Absolutely. Do you still have the default voices on your A words? It's interesting that. Can't begin to imagine tidbits and perspective. Max receives from the esports community. There's a bump on the racing line in Silverstone straight that can knock anywhere up to 0.2 off. You know what, Michael? I should know that. I've been around Silverstone too many times not to be aware of that. In a good friend, the legend Peter T, in his Westfield, so I should know. And I've driven around there in sports cars a gazillion times as well. I tell you what though, because there was something to be said. I mean, he was on red line overnight, wasn't he? They were asking him about, he just doesn't care about F1 at all. He does care. But when he's racing, I think this speaks to Max's ability to focus on what he needs to focus on. When he was racing, sim racing overnight, they said to him, when's qualifying? He was like, mate, I don't know. I don't care. Leave me alone, basically. He just doesn't, they joke all the time in the community that F1 is his kind of side mission and his main squeeze is sim racing. That's his first love, right? Incredible. Absolutely incredible. Heard news that Fernando Academy driver and F3 driver Nikolov Solov is now, haven't heard that name before. French, I'll be honest with you. Why should I change Alexa name to Lee? No, it won't work. It has to be the A word. I'll forget. Mercedes road pace looks insane in FP1. What are your thoughts? 5 tenths down on the hards than everybody else on softs. Do you think there's a chance for a podium? So George spoke about Mercedes race pace in FP1, and he the takeaway from what he said, don't pay too much attention because you want to normalise for fuel loads. He says as far as race simulations go, they were short fueled, not short fueled, but they were lighter than some of the rest of them. So if you're comparing and contrasting their race pace as versus Red Bull, then don't necessarily read too much into that data. This is George saying this, not I. But they did do a lot of hard runs. I was talking to Peter Winter about this. Why? Okay, so there's all about data gathering, and potentially you wanna save some softs for this session. But surely you got to do some fact finding on the soft. George did 2 or 3 laps on the soft only. What's that about? This doesn't make sense. Not to me, at least. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. F1 is Freud. They qualified in 04s. The sprint sandbagging going on. Do you think so, Tony? Nah. Every penny counts at the moment. They'll want to where is Lewis going to qualify, says Tony. If past this prologue, then you can, your guess is as good as mine, but if past this prologue, behind George, although, if I remember correctly, I feel like Lewis, when he's had his Weetabix around here, he's practically, in equal machinery, he's basically unbeatable. Isn't this the track where he nailed the pole when he didn't even have when he had a car in barely had a car in 2023 or something? I can't remember. He could go really well. I think this is one of those tracks. It's a stealthy track, right? Very, very short. Not much to it. But there are points around it, like Sector 3 in particular, speaks nicely to a Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen type of style. If you can nail a Maggots or Beckett's and thread the needle, of course, towards the end of that lap, you're going to be God tier northbound. You're far too kind. So let's waste 3 minutes in the pits and not quali lap in Leclerc 2024. No, I don't. But you say that. I don't know what Ferrari are playing at northbound. You can literally see Charles Leclerc lose his will to live. It's again, I have to deal with this nonsense yet again. What are we What's the point? And again, I've been more than disparaging about Charles Leclerc and banter us or banterful, whatever the word is. Modern day journal lazy, but I can't help but feel sorry for the chap, as talented as he is. What are they doing? What are they doing northbound? Lest we forget Monaco a couple of years ago. Box. No, stay out. Lest we forget Brazil 2022. Go out there on Inters when the rain hasn't even come yet, Charles, because that makes sense. Lest we forget they're operating now with pull rods at the back when they should be push rods. Red Bull have established that the meta is having push rods at the back of your car, right? Because you can do some very sexy things at the back with aero and the beam wing or whatever they call it. So why then at the start of this season do we see Red Bull only in conjunction with their customer team Haas take a divergent path for no reason, just to be like, almost just to be different? This is like zero pod settings, right? Red Bull have shown you what the meta is. Push rod at the back, surely. Do the very sexy things with the aero, wing beam and whatever else that they have done. Therefore is the meta. No, not Ferrari. They spoke about, oh, we've seen some really good things in the sim, so we're going to continue barking up this wrong design philosophy tree. What else do you expect? Scuderia. What else would you expect? Sainz is making his case for all the world to see. Tony, it's a wrap for him. It's done. He'll keep that seat though, because Christian clearly needs allies, does he not? This is war at the bulls that are red. Lewis had only won Austria twice. Coyote says exactly. You make a good intro music. Let's go. I do like the intro music. I do think it could be better though. If I'm being honest, I think that intro music could be better. I think it's by what's the best entry music ever, by the way? Any sport. This is an interesting conversation, chat. I quite enjoy this. Best intro music ever. 1990s basketball. Goosebumps straight away for the basketball fans out there amongst you, like flipping Nora. How can you watch that and not get goosebumps? Proper stuff, eh? Oh, mate, I don't even watch basketball, but I know that intro tune. Different gravy. Get you guys dialing out with my singing voice, my very poor singing voice. People are signing off by the second. NFL, you think's the best. Selendeki. I don't think I know the NFL one. I will search it up though. Let's see Perez have a good day and get into Q2 if he's not sabotaged. Oh, the humanity, Ron Real. Oh, the humanity. Sky Sports, Maloko. The time is now. The time is now. The time is now. I have to know it. I do know it, but I can't remember. F1 theme is the best. This latest one, Coyote. What about the old Fleetwood Mac? Can't beat that. Cannot beat that. 90s Bulls intro. It's a good. Why does that give me goosebumps? Don't know. Maybe it's just akin to the greatness that was Michael Jordan. Test match cricket, BBC. Is that the Caribbean? I do like that one, if they still use that one. 1978, Karpov versus Korchnoi, World Championship intro by Soviet mate. Karpov team. I will have to have a look at that French. I like the reference. Yoss looks well though, look at him. It looks like he's not got a care in the world. Cameron, you sound like Jasmine. I am acutely aware of my vocal ineptitude. The only sabotage at RB's Yoss. What is going on? Fleetwood, isn't it? The chain. Fleetwood Mac. I would argue, controversially, as we are about to we're into Q1, aren't we? Let's get some data going then. If you don't mind. If you don't mind. All right. I don't hate that. Lewis has an advantage over everybody else, says Ted. Courtesy. Okay, let's go. All right, we have ourselves some metrics. And then I need to do one of these, don't I? One sec. Bear with me. Just having a word with the guys and girls over at Multiviewer, the goatiest F1 app to have ever F1'd. Just need to get my P's and Q's in order as per usual. Go and download that if you like some cheeky F1 metric, the likes of which the guys and girls at Sky Sports F1 cannot compete with ever in their lives. Or maybe they can, but so long as you pay 300 gazillion pounds every single month and get Sky Q and Sky Glass and all the other things ever that cost a lot of money. Right, let's go. All right, we are into a session. I'm going to get some metrics going on here so you guys can see something. Let's get a cheeky track map going on. There we go. There's your cheeky track map. Let's go. Do 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 do. What a song. Now I'm addicted. Now I'm going to be humming it all the way through this bloody stream. Like, that's not annoying. What an absolute clown you are, Cameron. 15 minutes remaining of the first qualifying session of the Austrian Grand Prix. Goosebumpy already. I cannot wait to see who gets this done. But again, the rules of Cameron F1 as at the 29th of June 2024. Never in your life back against Max Verstappen. Why would you? If past his prologue, are you mad? Do you want to lose money? Is that the modus operandi? Is that the goal even, the smart objective? Losing money. If it is, then back against Maximilian Verstappen, you know? But we don't like to lose money on this channel. Not ever. Not to Paddy Power or whoever. Right, let me do one of these. What are you doing, Cameron? That song is God tier though, let's be honest. 152 of you watching. Only a third of you, however, has smashed that like button, and the algorithm therefore thinks that we are slower than slow things, worse than a Mercedes W30. Do me a favour and smash the like if you can, please. It takes a second and it is free. Ollie says, ahead of Verstappen. Hit the like, costs nothing but helps Cam F1. Exactly, you said it better than I ever could. Ron, you are a legend, sir. Visco, 150 watt. Yeah, there you go, Visco. What am I, proper Joe Biden settings? What am I doing? I am quite tired today, though. It's only the adrenaline of an F1 qualifying session that's keeping me going, you know? And being with you guys, of course, and rapping and speaking truth to these circumstances as they unveil themselves and unravel. It will get techie, and we will be here to dissect for it. Cameron F1 needs a trim, evidently, but whatever. We're not precious. French iRacing is so much better than F1 2024. I've heard iRacing serious. Got the bloody the old Fanatec, the double deal, whatever here. I haven't used it for ages. I'll dig it out at some point, but don't have the time. Guy, let's go. Appreciate you. All right. Hot take. Monoposto game is greater than the expensive F1 24 French. You're knee deep in the game here. I don't even know what Monoposto is, I'll be honest. All right, let's have a go. No, I just think I put it behind that. Alonso. Did you see that Magnussen got a penalty, by the way? I've seen a very many overcrowds and hang out to dries that look very similar to that K-Mag to that K-Mag. Look at me struggling to that K-Mag incident on Fernando Plan Alonso. So we're going to have to practice. Oh my gosh, so we're going to have to practice a few stupid things in the lap. Let's go. So no pressure behind, says Lewis to his guys. Oh my gosh, what is going on? What is it? Humanity. I'm gonna do. You know what? I'd love to bring this. Oh shit! Can you guys not see? What are you doing, Cam? You guys have got to tell me. I thought I'd gotten up the old metrics. Sorry, I do apologise. I'm noddy. I am stupid in the Charles Leclerc accent. I thought I'd done it. Right, we've got what we need there now. Cam, you a yam. Yeah, yam from Birmingham. Yam from Birmingham, Jordan. Yam. I don't do the accent very well. And not anymore. You'll hear it come out. When I get excited, you will hear the Birmingham accent come out. For those of you north of the wall, across the transatlantic. What am I on about? Across the Atlantic Sea, North America settings. Birmingham accents in the UK. If you watch Peaky Blinders on Netflix, that is where those rabble come from. All right, come on. Let's get this over here. Can find it. I'm so sorry, Great Goku. You know, I'd prepared it ages ago and I thought I'd done the transition successfully, but I did nothing of the sort because I am stupid. In the Charles Leclerc accent. Go on then, George. I don't hate that from you, chap. Go on. It is very sexy, isn't it? What Martin just said about the racetrack. There is something very sexy about this racetrack, particularly Sector 3. Early on in Sector 1, God tier. And then late in Sector 3, those last two turns. Mate. There are a couple turns at Spain that are very similar to this, actually. Just incredible settings, you know? Right, let's go. 8-2 time. Oh, bloody no, Harry. No need to remind us, chap. 8-2 down in the qualifying head-to-heads is Lewis Hamilton. Currently in your drop zone, Lance Stroll, Pierre Gasly, Alonso, Sargent, and both Sauber Stake, whatever they're called. 15th and 16th. At risk. Ocon. It's a bit different, this. It's got a different feel, this proper qualifying, right? Crescendos differently. That what we saw this morning was chaos. I know it wasn't, the shootout was yesterday, but I don't know, that sprint was mate, that was a case in point for having a sprint format of some sorts. That was really, really good this morning. Really, really good. Was it a 10.1? I don't know what Lewis is talking about there. Was it a 10.1? I have no idea, Cha. Verstappen was not fastest through the middle sector, mate. I don't know what you're talking about. Look at him in Sector 3 again. Are you seeing this, chat? This chap in Sector 3 is just like... It is some of that is that car and the way they've set it up. Oh my God, Carlos Sainz Jr. 105.2. Don't hate it. But again, look at Max Sector 3, 19.6. Like, what are we doing? Only Checo Perez can go close to him, which maybe means that Sector 3, I need to attribute more of that time to the car. If Checo Perez can do it, well, it's to be the car now. By order of the cheeky blinders, you're a legend, Michael. Absolute legendary settings and far too kind, mate, genuinely. Thank you so much. Russell B, he's there on Saturday. He will square Sundays out. I think you're talking about Lewis there, Russell B. Should get Cam an editor to help with the graphics so you can just chill out and talk. Northbound, I wouldn't be, but you know how to get a production guy. It's almost not worth it. Once I get practiced again and get back into the live stream habit, it will be more seamless. But for now, I don't hate being a one-man band. I just need to get a bit, you know what I mean? A bit smoother with it. Cameron F1 and RPM are two different style of Formula 1 YouTubers I like to watch. RPM's, mate, he's a disruptor, isn't he? For all the controversy, and he's controversial. I think he leans into it, bless him. But I mean, he's definitely carved out a lane for himself. Another one that I can't hate. Again, it would be irresponsible of me to talk recklessly or disparagingly about any other content creators. There's a brotherhood of there is beef, but it's a brotherhood of I want all of them to do well. This is the truth. Sector 3's Max's says lazy. One, yeah, best to save some for Q3. Brent says RPM to different driver Macon very close times. It's getting techie. I suppose worth noting at this stage that this session is only to get through to next session. All that you need to do here, if we're leveraging Fangio's modus operandi, efficiency settings, all that you need to do is make sure that you get through to Q2, right? No more, no less. Now, again, you might be playing, it might be tricky territory to start to be too efficient, to sandbag too much. But again, mechanical end. But what you don't want is to go balls out around here and do something to the car, just like that McLaren did just there, right? Lando, nearly doing his underfloor some damage. You don't want to do that. Like, just get through, Lando. Where you earn your corn will be in Q3, chap. Ergo, build momentum. Make sure you're in the right headspace. Make sure you get your eye in between now and the very last runs of Q3. Oof, what's going on with Lewis's car? I don't like that. Smoke coming out the back. Brundle talking about tyre rubber. Did it look like tyre rubber though? What's going on with that? That's not tyre rubber. That looks very dodgy. Smoking brakes on Lewis's front left. I don't like that at all. 180 of you watching currently. Do me a favour, smash the subscribe and the like, por favor. Every little helps. This guy said, it would shock me more if Lewis did better than George. Well, past his prologue, right? Per James Allison, if you're a data analytics guy, 8-2 over the past 10 races. I mean, you'd be a fool. As much as I love Lewis, and I'll never back against that chap, but you'd be a fool to bet that, all of a sudden now is going to be the tipping point. But the trend is your friend until there's a bend, they say, in financial services circles. So square that circle. Then, who's the Sky Sports Italian guy who's a commentator? I don't know his name, Macon. I don't know his name. He's personality though, isn't he? Lando, we need to do another one, please. Wow, we need to do another one. Okay, so Lando's not safe. Savaganda, 105.2 is provisional pole in this session, all the way down to what's Hamilton sitting in 16th. Oh shoot, 105.9, 7/10. All right, gonna be a bit techie. Squeaky bum time. Oh, wow. Expected cutoff 105.8. Okay. So all the way down from Albon. Yeah, so Albon not safe on a 105.8 per Ted Kravitz. Northbound, you're a legend, mate. Far too kind. Genuinely grateful. And I mean that. All right, LH's coming out of the pits. Let's go then, Michael. I can't tell who you're invested in, Michael. Which one of those 20 is your driver? You can never tell. Lewis needs to write a new email. Oh, the humanity. Lewis is better in the race. George in quali. We all know this as MK. I don't hate that MK, being honest. El Snake. Is Ferrari officially the fourth fastest after Merc, Red Bull, McLaren? I think so at the moment. That's not to say when we get around Singapore, a specialty track, that all of a sudden they won't wake up, right? But for now, on average, where are they? Fourth at best, I think you could argue. Like, although saying that, watch them be. They were sick around here a couple of years ago. Remember when Charles raced away, overtook Max Verstappen, who'd qualified on pot? I want to say it was 2022. Charles chased down Max and then drove away from him. So this should be a track around which Scuderia Ferrari are really, really good. How many WDCs would Alonso had if he'd made better team-changing decisions? I still don't believe he's only got 2. 05 and 06, having vanquished the Red Baron. Some chap called Michael Schumacher. Still don't believe that. I thought Fernando Alonso was going to reign for many a year in 2006. You would have had to be an insane person to bet that Fernando Alonso would never ever again win another championship in 2006 after he just beat Michael Schumacher for the second time. What are we doing? Gary is a former F2 driver. Going to be tight again if everybody can start their final run. Go on then. 2 minutes remaining. Get your focus on Cameron, says Jay. Get focused, chap. What's going on? Runners and riders. Right, look. So, in danger. All the way down from, I want to say from about 8th. 105.6 is Esteban Ocon. Hence why we see these guys going out and going again. All of them. 1 minute 24 on the clock. Gasly jumps up to 5th. All eyes on Lewis Hamilton, 29.1. He's going green, he's going green, he's going yellow, Michael Sectors. Lewis Hamilton about to jump up into 6th. 105.5, hopefully that should be all right. 105.8, remember they're saying, is the cut-off point. Russell does a 105.6. Let's go. Go on then. Who else is running around? Hulkenberg still smashing out greens. Hulkenberg about to jump up. That is quite rearing, says Brundle, on fresh tyres from Lewis. Again, no bueno. But this is what happens, Mercedes, when you spend all of FP1, the one and only free practice session, on bloody hard tyres. You haven't got a setup because you didn't do the due diligence requisite for soft compound tyres. K-Mag, look at that. 105.5. 08 quicker than Lewis Hamilton. What are we doing? Cheers, Mercedes. Alon's razor. Lewis comes over the radio and says, "Yeah, slow, mate." I think George Russell will be saying a similar thing. Mercedes are slower than slow things. George once again complaining about Lucy's preparation for his hot lap, saying Lucy's going very, very slow. 182 of you watching can currently do me a favour and smash the like if you could, please. Lazy. Remember the interview where Alonso was asked, what does he think when passing the 7-time champion? He said, I remember he has oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Alonso does not care at all, does he? What a quote. I was just watching some Alonso. Between this session and the next one, remind me to tell you something about Alonso. Like an old thing is really, really good. Stroll up into 16th again. Oh my gosh. Stroll beating Fernando Alonso, his teammate, yet again. Oh no, talk too soon. There goes Fernando Alonso up into 15th, bumping down Alonso, Stroll, both Sauber and Logan Sargent. Logan Sargent's flame burned brightly but shortly. Temporarily quicker than Alex Albon earlier this weekend. Checo Perez up into 12th. What a god-tier driver is the Mexican Minister of Defense. In that RB20, 12th. He is shy of his teammate to the tune. Oh, it's only 3/10, whatever. 2/10, 3/10 still. I don't know. What is Checo doing, Justin? Really? Mark Aston 4th from Grace. Not good, is it, Mark? Not good. Alonso makes it through by the skin of his teeth. What are we doing? He's a 10th away, less than a 10th away from falling out in Q1 yet again. They need to sort themselves out, right? Alonso was talking about it, that they haven't iterated properly for their circumstance. That's why everybody's taking it. This is a preparation race, a development race even. Is to find and happen upon the right design philosophy and then iterate for it even in a way that's deliberate. No random walks that has characterized Mercedes' development journey. You've got to continue, establish the line of travel and develop for it. Sounds simple, right? Easier said than done, Cameron. I agree with that, but tell us about that Alonso thing, says Selendeki. So there is on YouTube a brilliant channel that mostly does shorts called Pit Lane. Oh shoot, my battery's dead. It's called let me find it. I'll tell you anyway. You don't need to know the channel. Basically, there's a time where Fernando Alonso is racing Nico Rosberg. In fact, I'll tell you 2 stories about Alonso whilst we're on break between qualifying 1 and Q2. So first one, do you remember there was a time when Rosberg was racing really, really hard against Fernando Alonso back in the Ferrari days, I think. Nico Rosberg does the overcrowding thing, but on the straight, as Alonso's already half alongside him, runs, not dissimilar to Lando and Max, runs Alonso off onto the grass. Alonso managed to keep the car in the straight line, bring it back onto the black stuff. And that's when Alonso said, you remember, it's an infamous quote now. He says, I think you must leave space. You must always leave space. In his very Spanish accented English. I think you must always leave space. You must always. I think you must leave space. You must always leave a space. He says, very, very famous. And then the way that this guy's cut the short, the next thing you see in the clip is Alonso exacting his revenge right. Rosberg's in the pit, and Alonso quite deliberately does an unsafe release, even just to cut off Nico Rosberg. So spiteful is that dude. I know it's spite and I know it's vengeance, but I love it when F1 drivers show their teeth. You're not gonna pang me out to dry on the bloody straight without fear of reprisal. No, like put this in your pipe and smoke it. Fernando said, and another Fernando story I'll tell you, since you guys like story. I was having a chat with some engineers once upon a time, all of whom I was very lucky. I was lucky enough to meet and sit down with and have drinks with. And the question, of course, what question would you ask a set of F1 race engineers and pit crew? Straight away, who's the best driver on the grid? This was around 2007, maybe. Straight in there with the questions was Cameron. Oof. Unsafe released from Haas. Reprimand coming if Alex Albon gets on the radio. The first question was like, who's the best driver? Just tell me who the best driver is. What's this Haas doing? That must be bloody K-Mag. Hulkenberg wouldn't drive that. Yeah, I said, who's the best driver? Tell me, I just want to know who the best driver is and why. To a man, each and every single one of those pit crews said Fernando Alonso. This was about 2007. 2007, early 2008 maybe. Fernando Alonso. Many of them had worked with him. And the reason why they said he was his best, that he was the best one on the grid, not because of his pace in absolute terms, but more because of his racing brain, his race IQ and his ability to tap into it. They said, given on any given lap, you could test Fernando Alonso with the race strategy A, B and C, with the splits in front and behind, and he'd be there or thereabouts. It was like he had this racing brain where he was computing for all the calculations in real time. He just he just has this different brain, they said. And that's what he's not the quickest on the grid, not the best qualifier or the best over the course of a race distance, but as far as his ability to calculate for different racing equations in real time, nobody comes close, they said. Techie. One of my favourite stories that I'll never forget. Straight in with the questions was I. Saw them all in their uniforms. I was like, who's the best driver? And like, Alonso might not be the quickest, but he's the best, and here is why. Got the fastest mind. I don't know who's more spiteful, Alonso or Max. I think Alonso's probably more spiteful. Remember the time when he hit Massa and was doing one of these? I think Alonso never forgets. I think Alonso's never forgiven Lewis for the perceived favouritism that he received at McLaren in 07. I just think he's got that, and he's too competitive to ever forgive that, isn't he? Nisko, you're a legend. Absolute legend, pushing out those lights. Give like you, but they'd suck it up, Russell. Give that a like. Noticed all at Merck are laughing except Bono. What do they know that we don't? Oh, Ron Wheeler, we lean into the sabotage settings already. Was he a great driver sitting in the pit in front of Lewis? Tony, but look at that. Is that not... I don't even... Tony, even as the Lewis fan, look, let's check that out, because that's a really good question, or a good assertion. What's going on? Hello from Slovenia, says Ziga. Could Lando really beat Max in equal machinery at McLaren, not Red Bull? Ziga, I don't think so. Genuinely, as much as I'd love to say yes. Max is in his final form, is he not? That was for telling Silverstone, I thought. No, it was Nico Rosberg, I think. The Alonso. Alonso is absolutely more spiteful than Max, much more. And it definitely, maybe not so much in his old age, being like nearly 500 years old or whatever, but in his younger day, 05 and 06, mate, what are we doing? Talking about that pit stop incident. So Hungary 2007, for those of you who don't know, that was the fuel burn era. So to combat for that, McLaren had set out a protocol where, like say at race X, Lewis would go out first in the qualifying session, and then the very next race, race Y, Alonso would get precedence, so he would go out first. At Hungary, it was Alonso's turn to go out first and burn some fuel, and therefore he would get the run of the hot laps. He would get to have his first bite at the hot laps in qualifying, right? Lewis, for whatever reason, went out first because his crew sent him out on the proviso that they would switcheroo, right? That he would give the place back to Alonso because it was his turn. Lewis, being a young, hungry upstart, and again, not without spite, particularly 2007 Lewis, went out and he didn't give Alonso the place back. So Alonso, testament to his racing brain, as we are 12 minutes remaining of this Q2 session, Alonso, testament to his racing brain, figured what I'm going to do, I'm going to hang back since Lewis is already in front of me. I'm going to ease off this throttle to the point where Lewis is about to lap me. By the time he's ready to lap me, we'll both be coming in the pits for a new set of tyres. I'm going to have track position, however, said Fernando Alonso. And what I will do in the pits, I'm going to change my tyres and then I will sit there. I will sit there. I've worked out in my head how long I need to sit there to jeopardise Lewis setting another lap time, but to make sure that I can just about get across. Who is this dude? And he's done all these counts in his head in real time. Like, who does that? A skullduggerous and spiteful and bad-minded as that is. Like, how can you've got to, I've got to respect that. I can't hate it. Okay, Carlos Sainz in Q2. Right, currently, Charles Leclerc is your provisional pole sitter over 105.5, but nobody's set lap times yet, right? It's too early. Again, humidity on the track, 37%. Air ambient temperature, 31.3 degrees. 46 track temperature. It's going to get techie around here. Lando already talked about high deg. It's really, really warm. 4 to 6 degrees Celsius is his track temperature. 4.7 kilometers wind from the northwest. What are we doing? Oh, the humanity. Let's go, Nisco. You are a legend. 100 likes. I appreciate each and every single one of you today. Well, we're one away from 100. Let's round up Alpine WDH. But they're improving, Russell. They are improving, aren't they? Aren't they? They're improving all of a sudden. Maybe it's Flavio. Look at this. 105.5. He's just done something illegal, hasn't he? I picked up a lot of bouncing, says Carlos Sainz. What are these this Haas and this McLaren? Is that Lando just waiting? Mate, this is the M25. Checo Perez after you, Claude, as per usual. Fernando with that pit stop lost the former fan. What does he care? He's getting the money. You know, Macon, I hear you. But what would you do, Macon? If I felt slighted, I think I'm not sufficiently pacifist to not try and exact some sort of revenge, to give karma the hurry up. I think I would have done something similar. You know? Obviously, I don't have the racing brain, but flipping Nora. Bro, can only press the like button once I've tried. No, mate, MK, you're a legend. It's not you, man. Like, you've already done it, but there are 86 people currently watching this who have not smashed the like, hence why we need to keep reiterating. Right, 9 minutes, 40 seconds remaining of this Q2. It's going to get techie, isn't it? Let's have a go. Let's have a gander. Let's have a gander. Who's out, who's out, who's out? All eyes are, oh, here we go. There is a Maximilian Verstappen out. Currently nailed a purple sector, 16.266. Purple, sector 2. Oh my God, there's a purple sector 2. Look at this, through sector 3. Purple micro sector 1. Purple micro sector 2. 100%. Oh, green, purple micro sector. I was about to say 100%. Purple micro sector 4. This dude, unless he crashed. Oh my God, this is a fast lap. Look at this. Watch Max Verstappen. 104.6 as near as makes no difference. That's a second quicker than the next fastest. Yuki Tsunoda, put some respect on his name. Where's Checo Perez at? 15th, yeah, of course. What a joker. 12th, still at risk. Look at that from Max Verstappen. Goosebumps, any? Again, 1045. Here we go. There's a Lewis Hamilton, and there is a George Russell. Lewis 7/10 off. You are quite right. Yeah, it was daft, Jay. Ridiculous. Mark 7/10 away. It's not good enough, is it? But he'll take third for now, I think. He'll take third. But again, they've done no research, have Mercedes, on those soft compound tyres. Ergo, they will not know how to set up for them. Not around this track in this heat. Nonsense. FP1 makes no sense. Bloody Nora, 1045. Perez isn't going to make it. What a clown show. How have you got that? How? Non-rhetorical question. How has Max Verstappen just done a 104.6 as near as makes no difference? And Checo Perez is nowhere near right. Let's have a look at this. Although he's on a quit. He's on a... There we go, Checo. Go on then. Don't talk too soon, Cameron. 105.192 from Checo. But again, look at that. How much is that? 0.7 behind again in the same car. I actually suspect it negatively affects his performance. I'm here too, Cameron. Let's go, Raymond. You're a legend. Let us go. Is it Techie, Trekkie, or Techie? So the spelling, I tend to spell it with K's because I don't want to. If you spell it with CH, I mean, it stands. Phonetically, it's still right. But people tend to think you're talking about like technology, right? So, and it's kind of, I say TEKKY. Gonna have to get those t-shirts out soon, chat. It's techie. Techie's like it's polemic or marginal. It's better not to talk about it. It's so fringe and controversial. A subject that could get you cancelled, as an example. It's a bit techie, that. It's a bit techie. I don't really want to talk about it. It's a bit techie. See to any of you watching concurrently, do me a favour and smash the like. Oh, yo, what's going on? Raymond, you're a legend. Right, Goku, I still don't understand why in YouTube comment section people keep spewing negative things about Verstappen. Great, Goku, you do understand it, mate. People can't... Look, first things first, F1 fans aren't a monolith, right? A lot of fans are new and have only understood one driver winning all the while. Now that a new driver is winning, it's like, hold on, I can't reconcile myself with that. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. Somebody said once upon a time. Ergo, the opposite is true also, right? The enemy of my enemy is my enemy. Or the enemy of my friend is my enemy. And that's what I think a lot of people feel about Max Verstappen. But again, I don't want to be the proselytizer and say that you need to worship the ground on which Max Verstappen walks. Like, I don't want to be that guy. But as somebody who's invested in sports excellence, how can I not like Max Verstappen? Look at this lap. Purple, 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 purple microsector after purple microsector. Nails himself a sector 3. That's a marker. Look, as near as makes no difference. Half a second on the rest. What are we doing? Martin Brundle speaking to that right. Brand new soft compound tyres on an RB20 in the hands of Maximilian Verstappen. Something different, eh? Alonso's never happy with his car, says Tony. I can't believe you went into accounting, says Macon. Your vocabulary suggests that you'd be a very successful writer. You know, Macon, it's a story that I'll tell once upon a time. Lazy Tekken 2, love it. I did enjoy writing. But my parents were always of the persuasion that, is there a lot of money in journalism? There's like if you're going to be a columnist or like a editor, then it makes sense, right? But it's easier. If you're a noddy writer or journo, then you're going to be earning pittance, right? If you're a noddy and accountant, as am I, then you'll always be able to, there'll always be a need for you. You'll never necessarily want for much. So, says Martin Brundle. Oof. Just sit Maximilian Verstappen. He doesn't need to go again, does he? What are we doing, Cars, again? Why do Haas keep doing these unsafe releases? He doesn't follow the regulations. That's his problem. He didn't let me buy. Bloody Nora. Haas are being reckless at the moment, aren't they? What are they doing? As we are 3 minutes 12 seconds remaining of this session. Your boy Max Verstappen currently sits in provisional pole, if indeed that's such a thing, in Q2. 104.577. For those of you with multi-viewer now, and again, shout out to those guys, the goatiest app to have ever apped in F1. Check out the microsectors of Maximilian Verstappen in Sector 3. Those first 3, every time he goes round, he goes purple. It's ridiculous. Let's go right, and I think we're all over the sport above the personalities. Yeah, it's techie, that. It's a bit techie. They're all crying about pit lane manners. I know it's always going to be the way there. I think Austria is just that. This is the cost of doing business at Austria. It's too condensed and suffocated as a track. The track landscape isn't sufficiently broad to encapsulate or even serve 20 different F1 cars. Not this generation of, at least. But I digress. Oh, there we go. Toto Wolff also with a very big decision to make. Look, I may as well tell you that, guy. In fact, between now and next session, I'll tell you this. This stuff about. In fact, am I going to save it for a cheeky? No, I'll tell it to you. I can make the video at another time. Lazy, my guy. The cam logo is legit. Let's go, Lazy. Gonna get that back on some t-shirts soon and start getting that merch out with some. Yes, Cam F1 merch would be huge. Let's go northbound. It is happening northbound, I promise. But I'm going to pull my finger out and sort it out. Start taking this thing seriously, you know. I'm too daft. 216, if you're watching, do me a favour, smash the like board, favor. I appreciate it. Each and every. Spam some emojis. Yeah, let's get on the emojis. Get on the emojis. I don't see enough of those emojis. I'm blessed. I get to witness greatness, whoever it is. I don't hate it, Nisco. I don't hate that sentiment at all, Nisco. But more than often, grow some fingernails on the fly for this. Nisco, the real fans, yes. What's Christian saying? Why is Verstappen on another outlap? Is the track evolution that high? The temperature is crazy, right? So I think they're just doing it. Ultimately, I think he's got enough soft tyres to waste. But look, he's just stunting on them again here, isn't he? Purple, track evolution. Purple's microsector 1 of sector 3. Green, purple, yellow. Has he backed off? Purple. No, he hasn't backed off. Okay, but oh my gosh, at 104.4 on Max Verstappen. What are we doing? Oh my goodness. Yeah, now it's officially half a second. He's had enough, hasn't he? He wants to show and prove. You guys are not on my level. This is what Max is saying right now. I really want to see his on board. They need to put me on board Max Verstappen so I can see the extent of his to which he's not leaving any crumbs as far as track time. Fernando Alonso, no chance. Drop zone. Jeez. Oh my gosh. Are you guys seeing the difference between Lewis and George? George again quicker pretty much each and every single session. So again, if past his prologue, why would we expect Lewis Hamilton to nail George Russell in Q3? That would be the only one. Again, the trend is your friend until there is a bend, but still, still. Interestingly, Mercedes above the McLarens. What are we doing? Oh, the humanity. Go on then, out of Q2, Fernando Plan Alonso. Oh, the humanity. Still beat Lance Stroll though. Yuki Tsunoda 2, K-Mag, Gasly, Danny Rick, Esteban Ocon. Let's go. Makes his way into Q3. Did they make the right decision? Did Alpine letting go of the quicker French driver of the two? You let me know. Alonso's going to be spitting flames, isn't he? He's had enough now. Get me a car. Now. Mike Crack. Lawrence Stroll. Not good around here. But they did say the problem with Aston Martin is they need a specific type of track to go well. A Monaco, where there's lots of slow hairpin-esque turns. Not like anywhere where it's like mixed, like slow, medium and high-speed turns. Let's say a Barcelona as an example, or an Austria, or a Spain. Your traditional type of tracks, they're going to struggle around, sadly. And that's just the makeup of their car. They've got to iterate for it. The wind tunnel apparently is not going to come online until next year, maybe. I mean, when those things come online, they've got some lead time, haven't they? Shortly thereafter, it's techie. The cam logo's legit. Oh, let's get it going on. Lucky good for Ocon. He's done well, man. Ocon has absolutely nothing to lose. He will be at Haas next year, so I'm hearing. If word on the F1 curb is anything to be believed. Ocon and Ollie Behrman. There's some sexy driver lineups next year, isn't there? Can you imagine if it's Max and George? Okay, here's what they were saying. Right, between break, go on, let me touch on this. Everything that we talked about yesterday as far as Jos, and Christian is real. Jos was due to race an RB8 in this Legends testimonial thing at Austria this weekend. He was dialed in and then Christian Horner inquired about it, particularly around video and photos. Christian kiboshed the photos, didn't he? He said, well, hold on. I've got beef with Jos Verstappen. Why is he getting any sort of publicity on Red Bull Media House? No, I won't have it. So Christian kiboshed it. No special favours from me, said Christian. I will not have it. Matthew, you're a legend. Max is doing what Michael used to do. Set a mind-blowing lap or two to play the mind games and put others under pressure. I know. Matthew Brown, legend of YouTube. Matty BF1. Is that what it is still, Matthew? Again, go and check out that chap's YouTube channel because it's not half bad. You guys will excuse me. I've got no table manners, me. Too bad. LH is at Land's End with his setup. Where to from here, Jono? I love what you've done there. Very eloquent. A soliloquy. The metaphor stands true. Where to from here? I don't know. Ferrari, maybe? I have no idea. Alan AM will make a quantum leap with Nomad power. Nomad. Let's go, Alan. Nomad, aka Honda power. Ricciardo asking him, how much did we miss out by? Oh, wow, 10 milliseconds, so true. Is Christian Horner a grown man? I've seen him and he looks grown. Tony, you're cracking me up, mate. And Matthew, you're far too kind, sir. Kyori, imagine if Anthony Hamilton acted like, I know, mate. Mate, it wouldn't work, would it? It wouldn't have worked out at all. Very good point, Kyori. Did we go deep on that one? Shall we explain that to the masses? Listen, you everybody can't behave like Jos Verstappen. I think Jos Verstappen's privilege is that he has and amongst other things, is that he has in his grasp, he's part of the management team of one of the best drivers that we've ever seen, probably the most informed driver on the grid, as at 280624, no? Like, probably. So that's his privilege. You can't really, you can slight him if you want to, Christian, but he's still going to be, he's Max's dad. He's still going to be in the pit garage whenever he wants to. There's only so much you can deny that chap before you cheese off Max Verstappen too much, right? And that's where he gets techie. Because BBC, here's what I was going to say actually. Everything we talked about yesterday, as far as the video footage, Jos Verstappen saying that, listen, he's being childish, he needs to say it to my face, and then Christian Horner in the press conference. All of that is real and true. The BBC, again, all F1 journalistic publications are created equally, but some, however, are more equal than others. BBC are up there, right? Andrew Benson is always very conservative in putting the way that he publishes news and gossip columns or whatever. Andrew Benson was on the BBC podcast, the Checkered Flag podcast, and he said a couple different things. It's getting techy as far as this pit lane entry, right? Pit lane exit. Oh, it's close between Hulkenberg and Checo, isn't it? Who got there first? On the Checkered Flag podcast, Andrew Benson, legendary F1 journo, said a couple of things. I was going to try and get it and play it for you guys, but I don't want to get copyrighted because I know that BBC, you're not allowed to listen to the BBC if you're not in the UK. So here's what he said. I'll try and relay it as close as possible. As we see Ocon celebrating getting through to Q3, bless him. And they give the 2 fingers up to Alpine, Luca De Meo. You will regret that decision at the end of the season, getting rid of Esteban Ocon for all his foibles and his error proneness. Here's what Andrew Benson said about that, about the Christian Horner, Jos Verstappen circumstance. That yes, Verstappen, when asked, yes or no, are you going to be staying with the team? He was like, oh, okay, yes. Like when pushed finally to say yes or no, he eventually said yes. But up until that point, he'd been caveating with the time, the year. We're going to work hard on the car. It's all dependent on it. Like, do you know what I mean? He wasn't direct in answering that very black and white yes or no question. To that point, Andrew Benson says, the rumour on the paddock is that in 2025, next year, the probability that Max ends up at Mercedes is not zero. It's low, but it's not zero. Which means it's a possible, feasible, probably not probable, maybe not possible, absolutely. Max could indeed end up taking the place of Sir Lewis Carl Davis and Hamilton soon, not 2026, 2025. 2026, therefore, building upon that, the probability does one of these right. It all depends on a couple of different things. That power unit, how the relationship evolves, that bloody love triangle between Max, Jos and Christian, how that evolves. What does the Red Bull car, the RB21, look like not having Adrian Newey's hand in its developing? All of these things are like, but I was shocked in particular the fact that Benson said not a 0% probability of Max ending up at Mercedes next year. And what does this mean? Because it has wider ramifications, right? Why do you think we were meant to hear from Carlos Sainz on his contract last weekend, were we not? He said he can expect an announcement. Where's that been? Where do you think that's gone? Why is he taking so long? Every time we're talking about Carlos Sainz is saying, oh, I'm going to take my time. I want to make sure I'm making the right decision. Why? Potentially because there's a possibility of a Red Bull seat depending on what Maximilian Verstappen does. My story, and I'm sticking to it. Kyrie, I missed your topic. Sorry, I've been missing out. I needed to tell you that because I think that's really important. I don't think it's coincidence that we haven't heard from Carlos Sainz Jr. and the possibility of Max leaving Red Bull and ending up at Mercedes next year as soon as 2025 is greater or equal to zero. Not even equal to, greater than zero. What are we doing? Oh, the humanity. Go on then. EC, what's going on, bars? But this is one of the reasons why I've been so frustrated with F1 lately. What did Kyrie say? I've missed it. Kyrie, copy and paste that. Leonardo, techie ain't even the word for it. What did Leonardo say? I'm missing all, as I'm waxing lyrical, I'm missing all of your chats. If Anthony acted like, oh my gosh, yeah, no, it'd be a rap. If Anthony couldn't act, he couldn't do those things. Although, if Anthony acted like Jos now, whatever, right? Because Lewis is the big man around town, it wouldn't make that much difference. Oh, Hamilton driving over some pit gear. Go on then, let's have a go. Marco would follow Max if he went to Merc for sure. Well, Marco, yeah, I've just seen it. Marco might be the first jigsaw puzzle. Helmut Marco close. Gonna get techie. Do me a favour, smash the like. Oh, and breathe. Right, 8 minutes remaining of this. This is the proper session. This is where we're going to find out what time it is really. You know, one of those ones. This is where we're going to find out properly. Everyone's getting the cheeky AI up there. I'm so tempted to pull up this AI message. Oh wow, Verstappen gets another cheeky slipstream from Nico Hülkenberg. Sabotage, they put Jack under the... Oh my gosh, North Van, don't do it, mate. Don't do the sabotage. I think Christian putting the kibosh on Jos running the car this weekend may ultimately be the trigger that sends Max to Mercedes. This will be. I don't think you're a million miles away from the truth, you know. I genuinely don't think. Go on then. This is the Max Verstappen show. His world, and we are all living in it. Lando's rapid though. Let's look at Lando. Green micro sector, green micro sector, sector 3. Green again. Oh my gosh, Max Verstappen again. 104.4. What's the point, chat? Nobody can match this chap. When he's had his Weetabix, like there's no like you've got no chance. Lando can't even get within 2/10 of the fella. That's it, it's over. Barring changeable conditions or some wind difference or Lando catching a toe, it's over. As the Austrian Grand Prix contingent go wild for Max Verstappen. 104.4. Bloody Nora and breathe. Okay. Lewis Hamilton's been noted. 105.1. 6/10. Heavyweight mind games, Alan says. I'm confused, chat. Genuinely, I can't understand this. I thought McLaren were meant to be quicker. 3/10 adrift of Maximilian Verstappen in that Red Bull. The second quickest car on the grid. What are we doing? Max to Merck would simply prove how great Max is. It's something that we're going to be talking about. I'm telling you, that plot line's not going away. But in the interim, we've got to talk about this 104.4 that Max has done. Again, Lando was purple on the 16.251 sector 1. That's 1/100th. But the rest of the lap, he just gets destroyed. Max is like 2/10 quicker than him in sector 2. And then another 2/10 in sector 3. 2/10 in sector 3 is a chasm, bearing in mind sector 3 is only 19 seconds. So how is Max 2/10 quicker than Lando? No, I don't understand what's going on here. 3.8, it's not maximal velocity either. 318 kilometers through the speed trap as versus 317. Hülkenberg quicker as always on a 319. What are the Ferraris doing? Where are we, Carlos and Charles? What are we doing? 105.0. Half a second adrift around a 60-second track. What are we doing? And where's Checo? Look at this. 105.5 Checo Perez. 1.1 seconds adrift of his teammate. Javier. Gracias, Acera. You're a legend, Javier. Thank you so much. Too kind. What are we doing though? I'm really trying to work this out. Did Toto still 0.2 from Lewis? Oh, I don't know. It's a techie. It is techie this one though, because Lewis normally goes well around here. Why are they letting him? Oh, there are so many questions and so few answers. 1078 Rorschach. That's the delta that Max holds over his teammate. What are we doing? I don't understand big party in Red Bull. Yeah, no, it would be big. I wouldn't mind being over there at the moment, to be fair. Party atmosphere. 104.4. Mercedes put peanut butter on Lewis's tyres again. Obama. Max over human. Obama, it doesn't make sense. Genuinely, I'm trying to understand. You know what the video after this is going to look like? Max is incredible. I don't understand where this dude's pace comes from. Nobody's not going to tell me that he's a car merchant. All the chat before this session, before this race weekend, was about how much faster, or how McLaren were faster now than Red Bull. This track, for the avoidance of doubt, is one of Lando's favourites on the calendar. So therefore, tell me how Maximilian Verstappen is more than 3/10 down the road from Lando Norris. Somebody needs to tell me this. He can't be that good. He can't be that good and that consistent each and every single time. Javier, you're a legend. Far too kind, by the way. I don't understand. I'm losing my mind in real time on this thing. 104.4. No straight line advantage. Just mechanical grip and genius. Calm. Let's see about the wind has been dropping. Okay, so the track temperature is dropping, Harry. But the wind temperature... Sorry, the wind speed, now 7.2 kilometers per hour, coming in from the west. I just can't be... I don't know. He's that good, says Jay. Because meant... Oh, I don't understand. Go on then. Let's have a go. And he's coming out again, isn't he? Jeez. Increíble. And as if you needed to put a full stop on the point, he's coming out again to put a further kibosh on the rest. Go on then, Lando. Let's have a go, mate. What have you got? Unbelievable, chat. What are we doing here? Is that Checo Perez going first? So Ocon, okay, Ocon's gone over the line first. And then Leclerc. 1 minute 20 on the clock. Esteban Ocon going for it. There's a 16.5 first sector. Max Verstappen finally goes green. No more purples. 16.254. Although that's very nearly the quickest sector 1 of anybody this session. Only 3 thousandths shy of Lando Norris. Although look at this, sector 2, yellow, green, purple. Not that quick. 28.784 is the quickest sector 2 of the session. And he goes 28.791. Oh my God, he's still rapid. He's still very quick, isn't he? Yellow microsector. Yellow microsector from Maximilian Verstappen. Purple though now. Yellow microsector. He's not going to be quicker, I don't think. What's the lap? The lap that we're looking for from Max? 104.3. He's only gone quicker. I'm watching him and I just don't understand. How has he gone quicker again? And I'm going to get close to him. Fair play, Oscar, for trying, mate. But look at that. He's like 5/10 adrift. Massive respect for Oscar, but bloody Nora. Come on then, Lewis. Let's be having your chap. Overtakes Verstappen, not being held up. 16.3, sector 1. That's not bad from Lewis. And again, he's going green, sector 2. Don't hate that. 29.03. Oh, he's a mile adrift, isn't he? He might jump Charles Leclerc at best. Lewis on this. He's not going to do better than 5th or 6th at best. Look at that. George is much quicker in sector 2. Lewis coming in. 5th or 6th maximum. 5th. Okay, take that. But George is going quicker, isn't he? Look at this. 28. George is much quicker in sector 2. Going green again. He's going to jump Lewis again. Any second is George. Look at this. Flipping Nora. George Russell again, chat. 4th. 9.2 in qualifying. Is George as versus Lewis. Sabotage, I think. It's not sabotage, is it? Look at this. Only 500ths in it again. The more that every time it becomes 500ths between them, now that it's fine margins each and every single time, it makes you think that the gap is real, right? If it's just a one-off and small fine margins between Messrs Hamilton and Russell, then you might call sabotage or whatever. But in longer form now, it's like, hang on, this is what's happening each and every single time. Bloody Nora. Christian comes over the radio and says, "You're on fire, chap." Oh, Piastri lost his position. Bless him. Infringement of track limits, turn 7. Bless him. Oscar Piastri down to 7th. All over to you, Lando. All over to you. This is a familiar lineup, right? A familiar front and second row almost. Verstappen, Norris, Russell, Carlos Sainz. Interestingly, Carlos Sainz beat Charles Leclerc in qualifying around the track. Leclerc's meant to go really well. Perez, 9th. Look at this. Go on then, chat. Somebody tell me, that Checo Perez deserves himself a 2-year extension on his contract. 115.2. He's a second as drift as near as makes no difference as versus his teammate. 16.4, 2 tenths adrift in sector 1. Another 3 tenths adrift in sector. He just can't keep up, can he? Checo, not in the same dimension, really. They're just in. I mean, what are we doing? Rorschach, you're a legend. Far too kind. Gifting memberships out here. I appreciate you. Oh, now I'm going to have to go into the bloody reaction video and do what I always have to do at this stage. Max is incredible. I don't understand how that dude can be so fast all the way through the sessions. This dude's it's been nip and tuck, right? You saw the welcome, Obama. You're a legend. Rorschach blessed you. I just don't. I can't comprehend this, Joe. At this stage, Leclerc per usual. Mention no names. Modern day Jean lazy, know what I mean? Get Leclerc a map of sector 3. Oh my lord, he's not. But he's normally good around here. I don't know what's going on. 19.6. He's losing as versus his teammate. So he's losing a 10.5 in sector 2. Sector 2 wasn't great from Charles Leclerc. And this is where you've got to ask some questions, eh? If equity is a thing, if we're being honest and open and having a grown-up conversation, Charles Leclerc, as brilliant as he can be, every time he gets out qualified by Carlos Sainz Jr., you've got to ask questions. You have to ask questions. I don't care what Charles Fossey has to say. I don't care what blinkers and blindfolds they want to wear to avert their gaze from this chap's iniquities. Do you know what I mean? What are we doing? Be honest and open. Max says the qualifying went really well. What? Not bad. He thought he saw Monaco for. Oh no, Michael. Vladius. At this point, Max is venting those Joss versus Horner frustrations on the track. Insane. The guy's like him and the rest, isn't it? Like, do you remember what I said at the start? That'll be when I publish this interview in a second, that'll be the start of it. Clarkson said that Ayrton Senna was great each and every single time that he got in a car. Surely Mr. Max Verstappen is operating at that level right now. Oh, the humanity. Guys, I'm going to run away. I've got a reaction video to make and it's going up imminently. Too chaotic. Just don't understand. Why was Pia bumped down? Track infringements, Pharaoh. Let's see who gets sabotaged at Ferrari next, mate. Sabotage. Saba. Again, he said Leclerc was better than Sainz. Charles Fossey did and will still say, and I think he still is better. But then if he's better, what does that mean then? If he is better than Carlos, why is he getting out qualified? And again, listen, everybody makes mistakes, right? But surely you've got to ask yourself a question. 287 likes, 131. 131 likes, 287 views. Do me a favour and smash the like. Por favor, Vladis, you're a legend, mate. Proper legendary status. I feel like if you want a blue spanner, let me know. I'm going to run away. Does Max have the quickest car now? Well, that's what they will say, the naysayers, Swag Simon. But they weren't saying that before the race, were they? They absolutely were not saying that. This is too chaotic. I don't know what to say. Maximilian Verstappen's world, and we're all living in it right now. Good luck, Lando. 99.5% won't get you over the line here. You need to be 100% plus if you harbour aspirations of beating yourself on Maximilian Verstappen. And not just you, Lando, your team too. No 1.9 pits. And there needs to be like 1.8 pit stops every single time. World record settings. Zero variability and unforced errors. Otherwise, you can forget about it. Just give the trophy to Max Verstappen already from now. If the others aren't up to it and can't raise their game, then what is the point? I'll be back 30 minutes before the race tomorrow. We will talk. I might even try and do an 8 PM live stream again later today. Reaction video out in a second. This is chaotic. But I digress. Prosecution rests no further questions, Your Honour.